Hey everybody, welcome back to the R Zone. Chris here, and today we are doing Titanfall 2's top 5 fails. Well, they're my top 5 fails. Don't know if you will agree, but the whole idea is just to kind of have a look at the game with a kind of an honest lens and just try and point out a couple of things that make me feel like it could have been so much more. You're watching some footage I captured of an attrition playthrough I did. I didn't do particularly well. I didn't do badly, but I didn't do great. And given the fact that the R-Zone is the home of distinctly average gaming, that is pretty apt, I think. Okay, so we're just going to get straight into the deal here. First thing on my list is release date, and that has nothing to do with Respawn at all. It's all to do with EA, and EA, I understand why you did it. You had Battlefield come out, then you had Titanfall 2 come out, and they were so close together, and it was right before Call of Duty came out, and I understand why. Flood the market with two excellent shooters, and you take away from Call of Duty. Understand that. Unfortunately, you don't do any favours for either game by doing that. Battlefield 1 is a really good game, but so is Titanfall 2, and if you really want to do the fans, yourself, the companies, huge amounts of favours, then you need to keep them separate, not put them out at the same time. Like I say, my head says, the business part of my head says, that's a great idea. Flood the market and get them out before Call of Duty, and you're going to make loads of money. But you've got to look after the fans, and the fans, well, we were waiting for Titanfall 2 for a while, and with two big shooters coming out so close together, and a third one on the way, not 2 weeks later, you're actually costing yourself money because people won't buy all three. And sometimes they won't even buy two. So it just was a disservice to Titanfall 2, the smaller of the three fish. It got left behind. And with the marketing campaign that you did, it wasn't as pronounced as the other two. So it was always going to be an uphill battle for Titanfall 2. But the good news about it, Titanfall 2 is such a good game. Such a good game. That I think it's going to last much longer than any of the other two. I think it's going to have some serious legs that are going to keep it going, but you did it no favours, EA, by doing what you did. Hopefully you'll learn from this. Hopefully the community will have their say and you'll go, we can't do that again. Not to the Titanfall fans. But that's just number one. Number two is all to do with the multiplayer. When Titanfall 1 came out, you could give them Titan 2 orders. You could tell it to guard a particular position, or you could tell it to follow you. And that has not been expanded on in the second game whatsoever. You still only have two orders: stand guard or follow me. And that's left a load of tactical opportunities out of the game. You could quite honestly just have one extra one, which is just quickly described as you target an enemy Titan or an enemy position, and you tell your Titan to attack that target. While your Titan doing that, you can flank from another direction. It opens up all sorts of opportunities. You never really know, is it a pilot in that Titan, or am I going to get flanked from somewhere that I don't actually think about? In the fluidity of the battle that is the Titanfall multiplayer, it opens up all sorts of opportunities for not just casual players, but for the competitive element as well. Those guys will just have a field day with something like this, and that's just adding one extra order. What could we do if we added two, or maybe even three? The controls aren't going to be that complicated. There are still buttons on consoles which aren't being used to their full effect. But hey, that's just my thought. Number three, the generic bosses in the actual campaign. No connection to them whatsoever. No one really feels like that they are someone you would actually hate. They're just harder grunts. And yeah, fine, they have their own Titans, but that's it. You face other Titans throughout the game, and yes, they're easier to kill, but can anyone tell me where Viper came from? Because I have no idea. Other than Richter, who has some semblance of a personality, the others really just felt like little bumps in the road as you went along towards the end of the story. There was nothing that really inspired you to actually like them, dislike them, hate them. They were just there. I understand at the end of levels you need to have some kind of big test, and I get that. But if you want your fans to connect to a game, you have to give them an emotional reason to do so. Even if they're not aware of it, you want them to actually go, I hate that guy, or something. And that just never happened with the bosses, unfortunately. And to top it all off, we never got to fight Blisk. How can you do that to me? I wanted to take that guy down. But there you go. That's how it all ends. Number 4 is the story forcing you away from BT. Every other mission, it felt like BT would get himself into a jam, or you would be forced to open a door which would cut you off from BT. I mean, the beacon level, I completely understood. That whole platforming section, that was fine. It's in the middle of nowhere, BT can't get there, that makes sense. But when you first start, you go through BT 7274, you go through the whole mission, you get him his batteries, you go in to the very next section, which is Blood and Rust, and within a couple of minutes, you're separated away from him. And for the rest of that level, you don't go near him until you get past a mini boss battle, and then you're on to Kane. So you've spent all that time, a whole level, getting him batteries, and now you are no longer allowed to use him. Get to the end of that level, you have a boss battle. The next level, you go through a small section, then you lose him again. And you really just get to the point of going, am I allowed to actually hold on to my Titan at any time? Being forced to separate from your Titan when the whole marketing campaign was, become one. Become one with your Titan. It's all based around the pilot and the Titan and their link together, how they work as one. And you don't get to do that, except for specific times. And when I say specific times, I mean boss battles. That's it. I really think that we could have had a game where the levels were a little bit more open and there was multiple ways of doing things. You need to open a door, you need to click 2 switches or something like that. Incorporate BT into the solution rather than separate him out from the story and then go, right, Cooper's got to go and do it all. Which really feels like an easy way out of it. Where the whole idea was pilot, Titan. Strong apart, unbeatable together. Number 5, what next? The story in Titanfall 2 is really good as a story. But Respawn did an epic job of tying everything off. Spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't played the game. If you haven't, then I'll just stop here for a couple of seconds until you've gone away and played it. Enjoy it? Excellent. Okay. Spoiler warning is basically at the end of the whole game, BT sacrificed himself to save Jack. Great. Cooper lives. Pretty much every other character on the bad guy side is dead, with the exception of the general in charge of the IM fleet and Blisk. That's it. Good guys live. We're happy about that. But everything is tied off. It's very clean cut. Other than a small scene after the end credits where I'm assuming it's Jack's helmet, the visor flickers. And if you're paying attention to the game, BT transferred some of his processes to Jack's systems so that he could communicate with him with effect and cause mission. So BT could be alive, but the point is, it's also well tied off what comes next. There is no link to the next game. Now, EA has already said they are committed to a franchise. And this is good. But it is also well rounded off. There's no clear path for the gamer as to what's going to happen next. We can't talk about, oh, but this could happen or that could happen. And that kind of stuff, that just feeds into the hype for the next game. And there's none of that. And I worry that might actually damage the chances in the future. But hey, this is just all my things, it's my opinions. I want to hear what you guys have to say. There's a comment section below this video. I really want you guys to come back at me. Tell me what you think of what I've said. If you have any other little bugs that you want, put them in there and we will discuss them. I'm quite happy to do that. I will be doing another video with the 5 wins of Titanfall 2. I am really looking forward to that one because there is a lot that could be cast as a win in that game. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. Like I said before, the comment section is down there. Please do leave your comments. I will answer as many as I can. Other than that, you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.